Nathan?
Nathan Jr., music helper, musical independence.
And Neil?
Neil Wilson, Polk County Fire.
Shannon?
Shannon Core, City Councilor.
And Justin?
Justin Headland, Sergeant, Independence PD.
And Karen?
Karen Etzel, Program Specialist at IndyID Hub.
And it looks like we have Gerald tonight.
Gerald Fisher, Public Works Director.
And Andrea.
Andrea Van Heeswick, Branch Director for the YMCA.
Did anyone else have to enter a password to get into the Zoom meeting?
No.
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting a text saying that there was a password required. Okay, and then can we get a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
So moved.
Seconded.
All right. So we're just going to straight move into the subcommittee reports, just because we don't have any action items as of right now, and I think those will just get brought up in our subcommittee reports. I'll start and just say that Lisa wasn't able to attend tonight, but we have 23 vendors signed up so far. We'll be meeting with Nikki this next week to kind of finalize to make sure that payments and applications are matching. And then everything is up to date there. And who else is in here tonight? That Vidal is not. The talent show, it sounds like there are a few audition tapes that have started rolling in, but obviously we'll start promoting that a little bit more as we get a little bit closer to June, like next week. So we'll probably be doing another post about that, and we'll be posting the schedule, since I know a lot of people have been interested in learning what the specific schedule will be for the event. So we'll be getting that out on social media as well. It is already up on the website, but not everyone knows that we have the website or knows that it's updated. So I'll make sure to do a post about that this possibly tomorrow, but most likely next week. So that way that information can be out there. And yeah, I think that's all that I have specifically. So we can move to finance, which it doesn't look like Leanne is here tonight. But I think a big part of that is the wristbands specifically right now, since Leanne is working a lot on wristbands. And so I don't know, Shannon, if you want to give the wristband update.
Well, I can only relate what you related to me, is that you've ordered what, 75,000 of them? And obviously that can carry over to next year if we don't use them all up, obviously. We have all the slots but one filled for the pop-up tent wristband sales. Those are going to be the Saturday sales, 2 shifts each Saturday, the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th. And if there's anything you need me to do, Courtney, with the businesses that are going to be selling the wristbands, like picking up money or do anything like that, please let me know so we can start figuring that out as well. I imagine Leanne's going to be kind of the overseer of all that, make sure that we all, get the money where it needs to get to be safe and stuff. But I probably need to have a meeting with her. I don't know if you need to be involved. You certainly can be involved if you want to, but maybe she and I can get together and talk about the logistics of all that.
Okay. Yes,
just making sure sites have wristbands if they run out of a particular day. We just need to refresh all that kind of stuff. So
yes, I plan to schedule a meeting with you and Leanne before the wristbands even come, and probably include Vicky in that, just because it sounds like she'll be a big part of helping sell the wristbands as well.
Perfect.
Add to I don't know if everyone was here in the last meeting, but we have 6 locations that will be selling wristbands. The goal was to have them start selling them June 1st, but unfortunately with the production stalls and just the kind of domino effect issues with COVID, We aren't able to get them until the 10th. And so we're going to be giving those out on the 10th, right when they come to the 6 businesses, which are City Hall, the museum, the library, Independence Hotel, Independence Cinema, and the Gate. So those are the 6 locations. They'll all be cash only, except City Hall will be accepting card.
And great work on the design. I thought those were really unique. Hard to forge, hard to replicate. So
Yeah, that was one of the things, is instead of doing kind of just whatever we could find on Amazon, we actually purchased custom wristbands, which is part of the reason why they take a little bit longer than normal. So we have one for our hometown night and then one for 4th of July. So 2 different designs. Okay, thank you. And then in terms of other, I'll just pull it out there too. If you end up needing to make any purchases, I don't think, I mean, I know Sergeant Hedlund has a P card. I know Aaron might be making purchases, but all of those purchases and receipts do need to be emailed to Leanne, because she is tracking our spending. Sorry. Message that they need a link for the meeting. So just make sure you're getting that, your receipts into Leanne. If you need her email, I can send that to the group, but it's indiedaysfinance at ci.independence.or.us. Okay. All right. Parks. We'll skip that because Aaron is having some technical difficulties and trying to get into the meeting right now. So we'll come back to that. We'll move to public safety. I know Justin has been talking about security, and then we also kind of want to talk a little bit about the layout of the event this year. I did meet with Lisa to talk about vendor layout, but we've also met separately with Aaron and Sergeant Hedlund to talk about the gates and the entry locations. So do you want to start with security first or layout, Justin?
Yeah, we can start with security. I think we're still pretty much in the same spot where we were before. I've made a request to CMS after having conversations with them about how things went last year, and just what we're looking to do this year with the layout, and making sure that we have enough traffic control positions and things like that.
Okay.
There was, there's a big change in kind of the way that we're going about this event, because we're relying a lot more heavily on like paid security staff as opposed to like volunteers and uniformed police officers, just because there's really not as many available. So I still haven't gotten a final back from CMS yet, as far as our contract and everything. So I'm still working on that.
Okay. We talked about it in the last meeting, and one of the things that you had asked about was camping for the security staff, because they were coming and doing like 11 to 12-hour shifts.
Yeah.
And we had kind of talked about, and sorry, I thought I relayed this to you or Chief, and I guess I just thought it got to you, but just in case it didn't, we're talking about basically making the front of the boater biker campground kind of the inflatables park. And so that's where most of the inflatables would go in kind of like a half circle facing the front.
Okay.
And then behind would be used as staging and camping and anything else that would be needed for security, or any outside vendors.
Okay. I'll relay that to them. That was one of the things that they were hoping to get, just because they are out of the Eugene area. And so most of them are going to be traveling a little bit, and they're working quite a bit. So they'll probably be grateful for that. So thank you.
Okay. Yep. I would say if the police are okay with it, then we're okay with it. Okay. So then in terms of the layout, it's kind of difficult to come up with a document that will expand not only all of the park and Main Street and some of the, boater biker campground, but then also now include the additional Indy Landing Park and the City Hall gate. So it's been a bit of a struggle to try to put that all into one visual for everyone. But at this time, and Hedlund, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're doing 5 entry gates this year. And there'll be.
Yeah, so on the second and third, we're gonna have 4 entry gates. And then on the fourth, we'll have 6.
Okay, can you tell me where the 4 are on the second?
Yeah, so the gate locations are going to be the Ash Creek Trail over on the kind of the northwest corner, where that comes in from the dog park area. So that's one gate. There's going to be another gate up at Main and C Street. There will be another gate at Osprey Lane, and then the final gate will be at really the back of the Civic Center where the walking trail starts right there.
Okay. And then on the 4th, where are the 2 additions?
So the gates on the 4th, the C Street gate gets moved. So because we are going to barricade the street, and so the whole street area is going to be closed downtown for the 4th. And so that C Street gate gets pushed out further to the west of that intersection. So instead of being on the park side of the intersection of Main and C, it then gets moved to the city, like the downtown section of, or the west side of that intersection. An additional gate gets added kind of where Manjari comes in right there. So they're past those barricades towards the south. There'll be another gate set up right there in the middle, kind of the street area over by the sidewalk. And then the other gate will be on Main Street towards Monmouth Street, where that gate will be.
Okay, so are you like Silk Tie or down at Jubilee?
Farther down towards Jubilee, but not quite that far.
Okay.
It's at the mural.
Yeah, at the mural. Thanks, Aaron.
Uh-huh.
So the Main and Mural. But then the City Hall and Osprey are also still operating.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5. Is there a 6th one that I'm missing? Ash
So we
Creek?
still have Ash Creek, Osprey, Civic Center, and then we turn the 1 C Street gate into 3 gates. So that's 6.
Oh, okay. So I missed one. So Main and Mangiari, Main and Mural, and then Main and C Street.
It's still Main and C. It's just on the west side of the intersection.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll confirm that with Ramon just to make sure that the groups that we're looking at for the gates know all the amounts of gates each of the days. And then besides vendors and gates, I know we've kind of already talked about where police will be setting up, where the inflatables will be setting up. I've talked with Aaron about where kind of the kids zone is going to be. Is there anything else in terms of layout that we should discuss right now as a commission? Okay, then I'll take all this information and try to plug it into a map of some sort. So that way we also have access to that. And in terms of setup, we will be doing a 20 by 20 tent behind the stage. Nathan, I think we talked about that, and a portable restroom will be back there as well. All right. And then Aaron, we'll jump back to the parks now that you're on. Do you have any, oh, sorry, actually, before we jump back to you, I don't see Kimber here for a CERT update, but Neil is here. And Neil, do you have any updates or anything you want to plug for the fire department?
No, I don't. Just as I had mentioned to you there that, I mean, we're available to sell tickets if you want, and we're good for that last minute. We have a lot of people that come through and ask about them.
Okay.
So yeah, we're cool with that.
Okay. And I see that you messaged about the pancake feed. Are you guys planning to do that? Like, can you tell me how that's operating this year? I know that with COVID, it was kind of changed up a bit.
Yeah, last year we opened back up, but we've the first year of COVID we added drive-through, but it's just going to be normal this year. We'll have people come through, but with the drive-through option. But we'll still, I think last year we had, think last year we had about 850 that came through into the station. I have no idea how many wristbands we've sold, you know? Yeah,
I just know people ask for.
yeah, we just have several people that ask. And I know last month or last meeting, you had mentioned that you had your places picked out, and I'm not begging for them. I'm just saying that's an option for last minute.
No, I think that's great. The only other location we have that's outside of downtown is the Gate, but their hours are only 3 to 6 and only a few days a week. So it would be kind of nice to have an additional location that has more extended hours, and the fact that you have such a big event on the 4th. I think that's a great opportunity to get wristbands out to the community members, because really that's the goal, is just to prevent people from stacking up in lines the day of at the actual event. So we can definitely get you some tickets.
It would actually
Okay.
help. It would actually help Chief Dangy get some tickets because he got locked out last year. He didn't get his wristbands until the 4th of July. So maybe that's one way we can make sure he gets tickets.
Yeah, we'll take care of him.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. And do you have like promotional material or anything like that that we can get on the Independence Days social media pages to promote the pancake feed?
We will.
Okay. Would you be able to email me then once you get something? Or should I just look on your social media pages for it?
Oh, I'll email it to you.
All right. Thank you for that update. Okay, jumping back up to Aaron with Parks now that he has made his way into the meeting.
Hello.
Hi. Do you want to give us an update about Parks and Pyrotechnic?
So Pyrotechnics, as far as I know, is on cue. We're ready to blow stuff up. And then as far as Parks is concerned, I know I have the porta potties are scheduled and on delivery, ready to go. Power wise, I just got back today, confirmation of the cost for the additional outlets that we're going to need for the bounce houses, which is 22 of them, which is phenomenal. We could run the whole event off of that amount of outlets, but it's all good. So
Wait.
20, what's that?
Is that like additional generator, or what are
No,
you?
the generator will suffice for sure, definitely. But the cost is what's expensive because of the long run to get out to where the bounce houses are going to be.
Yeah.
So anyway, the total for the cost of the rented power last year was 18. Hang on a second. Nope. Where'd it go? I just had it. 1875-ish, somewhere in there. I don't actually have the right paper. I grabbed the one from a few years ago. And then this year, with the addition of all the extra stuff, it would be 4765.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a pretty big jump. But to rent an additional generator and feed off of that, we'd be renting the generator and then basically buying renting most of the equipment we're going to be using in the first place to power everything. So really going this route is better cost effective than going the other route. The generator that we use is like 5 times too big for what we're doing with it anyway, but it's good to run it and give it some exercise. So putting this demand on that generator will really actually benefit it, and for our fuel that we're going to be burning, it will burn the same amount of fuel than it is if it's just idling like it has been in the future or in the past. So so we should be in pretty good shape. Just it's a large expense. We've never had to power the carnival before. So
Yeah.
now we get to.
Is that something, I mean, did you talk with Rick to see if do they normally bring their own power, or do they normally rely on the event power?
No, they rely on the event. Yeah, he said that most events rent like 4 or 5 or 6 generators to power them. When they bring that much stuff, This is usually, they don't bring 10 bounce houses to one event. It's one or two here and there, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so their Hollywood Lights is ready to deliver, pick up. Obviously, I do the install, all that. I just need to give them the yay or nay on it, and they'll reserve it, and they want to know by tomorrow if possible.
Okay, so trying to find, do you know what that would be listed on the budget?
I think it was under Parks Electrical. I put in there, I think $2,000, but now that we've got to do more, that's where the rest of this is coming from. Or it might be just in my normal parks budget.
Okay. Okay. You'll have to look because I don't even see a spot where it says parks anything. And then you said there was an additional or cost for the portable restrooms.
Yeah, that's right. The portable restrooms they were 40. Sorry, I'm not trying to be unorganized here, but it seems like I'm getting to be. Looks like they say they were 52.67 in 2019. And they were 46.62 in 2018. They're 5,700 this year.
Okay, looks like we had budgeted 4,000, so we're definitely.
Which is really weird because that's what I've always thought it was that 46. I didn't think we paid more last year, but maybe we did. I don't know. He gave me a whole breakdown of what it was, how much per unit, whatnot. And then he takes off he says the actual cost would be $74.47, but he gives us a discount, and that discount takes us down to the 5,700 mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That'd be 44 standard units, 10 hand wash, 3 ADA units, 5 holding tanks, and delivered on the 1st, picked up on the 5th, and cleaning the morning of the 4th.
Okay. Are you the one that directs Tony when he comes to drop off?
Yeah. Yep.
Will you make sure one gets put behind the stage?
Behind the stage, I suppose so. Do we know the fun run usually gets 2 put over by the library. So I don't know if that's the case this year or not. But
Is that Terry?
yeah.
I've left him a message a couple times and I haven't heard anything. So we can just kind of talk about that as we get a little closer.
Yeah.
What happens after the fun run is done?
They usually just kind of stay there.
Okay.
Unless we do that morning cleaning on the 4th, then they'll bring those 2 down to the park. So,
Oh, does that cost include cleaning?
yeah, just the one cleaning.
Okay.
So they'll deliver on the 1st. They'll come clean them the morning of the 4th, and then that's pretty good. Should be okay. We can handle a little bit of toilet paper replacement if we need to after the hometown night.
Okie doke. Anything else
Hey,
for park?
Courtney.
Yes.
I was trying to look for my budget. I can't find one, a copy of the budget. Can you email me one, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
You get to have one too from while you're on
They'll CC me on that.
it.
Okay. Well, I'll double check to make sure this is the most correct one before I send it out. And it doesn't look like it is. It does say draft, but oh wait.
Oh, I
yes.
did drop this really cool map that I'm kind of proud of. See, it's all cool. Got colors. Oh, nobody can see it. Darn it. I hate that. Anyway, it doesn't recognize it as a face. But anyway,
For the park?
yeah. Is this where the bounce houses are going to be, kind of in a little bit of a U shape? I mean, they're all going to be like clustered in here, right? So
But not all the way in the back. Is that the boater? bike
yeah,
route?
the boater campground thing there. I know they're going to be more forward-ish, but so
They're going to be in
this,
the front, so that way the camping can be in the back.
so this is where the generator usually sits. I'm trying here. So this is like 600 feet to get over here.
Yeah.
So we may be able to cut off like 100 feet of that wire if you're saying that it's going to be more towards the front of all of that. And that wire's, it's kind of expensive to rent, but not that expensive. Let's see, if we take off 100 feet, each one that we take off is $42. So, so it'd be 5 of those that we'd be able, or 4 of those that we'd be eliminating.
Okay. Is that something you have to know in advance because you have to purchase the wire in advance?
Yeah, for the 4, I mean, that's what, $160 or something like that. It's not a huge savings. Might be nice to have, extra footage if we need it.
Okay. I'll put it in the nice to have column.
Yeah, right.
We're tight on cash, Aaron.
I know.
Okay, so we'll probably meet separately to go in a little bit more detail about those things, because if we're going to be over on the budget on almost everything that's coming in, then we'll probably have to figure that out with Gloria.
Yeah, I think we should explore other avenues for porta potties next year.
Okay.
Possibly. So.
Okay. All right. And I don't see anyone here for decorations, so we will move on. Vendors, I already gave Lisa's update. Karen, I know you said you had to go at 7:30. I'm so sorry. I should have let you go earlier. Do you want to give a real quick sponsorship update before you head out?
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks. I figured I would just hang around. I was like, I think my section's coming. So since our last meeting, last time it was at 14,000 in sponsorships. Since then, we've gotten 2 more sponsors, so we're up to 18,500. We have Woo and Rocket Auto who joined recently. So kudos to Courtney for getting Woo. And we've got logos from most of them for promotional material, but I'm following up with Rocket Auto to get their logo, so we have that ready to go. And that's all I got.
Cool. Thank you. I would just like to say our goal was 15,000, so it is exciting that we are at least above in that budget spot. We have succeeded. So we got 1 out of, guys. Let's all celebrate. Okay, Karen.
Thank you.
And all right, entertainment. Nathan.
What's going on? I think we're pretty much, we got everything plugged in, right?
Yes.
Shane attempted to call me last night after you sent out that final schedule. You and I talked since he left me a voicemail. I wasn't able to get back to him today. I'm going to attempt to touch base with him tomorrow morning before I get busy. But I think I think we're there.
Yeah.
For entertainment.
Yep. I feel good about it.
Baby's in the park.
Anybody that's got special requests for the playlist, we're going to try to build a proper 4th of July playlist. I have one. I have a master playlist that I have saved for several years now. That's good. I'll probably subtract from that since we'll only be using so much playlist, since we'll have Doc Titus and we'll have so many bands. So probably, a 2 or 3 hour playlist would be plenty.
Yeah, I would say the longer the better, to be honest, so that way it doesn't repeat.
Well, I always throw out my old one. It's 4.5 hours long.
There we go.
Without adding any any new stuff. So,
And this would be, just for everyone to know, it'd be kind of in between the dead times when there's band changeover or we're waiting for a band to come on stage.
mhm. Gonna try to keep it all 4th of July themed.
I had one quick question on the entertainment in the schedule. I saw on there that we had fireworks and then end of evening. Is there any entertainment gonna start up after the fireworks show again?
Yeah, I gave you the public facing schedule, but we have a more detailed entertainment schedule that literally has like how long bands are contracted to be on stage, how long their changeover is going to be, who's doing what, and the band's encores of when they are. But I mean, they'll all be at 10:30 on the firework nights. So they'll be playing for 15 minutes to basically give, that cushion of some people leaving and then some people staying for the encore. So that way not everyone's leaving the park all at once after the fireworks.
Okay, got it. So we can count on like drop dead at 10:45.
Yes, we're planning on like music, lights out, everything.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want that scheduled or the detailed entertainment schedule?
Yeah, the more detail that I can have with scheduling stuff, the better for me.
Okay.
That way it makes it easier for me to like put people in the right places and stuff.
One thing you can work on with Shane, Nathan, was that he was going to put together just a couple songs based on, and that's probably something he's gonna have to talk with Aaron about, but he was gonna try to actually get some speakers down on the river to put some music to the fireworks this year. And so I think you three could probably work together on that, just because it's not in the schedule or anything, but I know that I did talk with Shane about that and he was really excited about trying to attempt it this year, but obviously he's also got to work with Aaron to figure out how long the shows are going to be, and if there's any way to dictate when there's going to be like some, I don't know, I guess I don't know how intense he's trying to get with like actually matching the playlist with the fireworks. I'm sure that's much more than what he's actually trying to do, but even just having some patriotic music I think would be interesting to test out this year to see how the community responds to having music with fireworks.
Totally. Yeah. No, that'd be awesome. I'd love to help out however I can. So yeah. Thank you for the reminder. I'll bring that up with Shane if he does not, but he's pretty organized, so he probably will.
Okay. All right. And then we'll bounce really quick back up to Leanne. Did you want to say anything with finance? I will just mention that Shannon kind of talked a little bit about wristbands. And then I also mentioned to everyone that if they're spending any money to make sure that they email you with that type of information, just so that you can be keeping a running log of our expenses. Was there anything else you wanted to add? You're on mute, sorry.
Sorry, I got lost in the old link and I couldn't find the new link. I am not really super technical, as you're finding out, in a really bad way. Anyway, I'm here, late, but I'm here. I was, the only thing, and Shannon, maybe you already know from past experience, how much money we're going to need for change at the pop-ups. So we need to figure out.
Not actually, because I never really did any sales, Leanne. I just delivered wristbands to places and picked up money. I didn't actually do sales.
Because my thinking was, because we're really trying really hard to keep better track this year, is that not only at the pop-ups, but also with each of the places that are selling, that we have receipt books, and that those receipt books, they write how many, so like if they sell 4 tickets, even just like the last 4 or 5 digits of the ticket listed on that receipt and the total amount, so that we have a better way of tracking them this year. Therefore, also when we are ready to collect them, there should be a receipt for each ticket or for each bracelet. And if there is not a receipt, then we should be getting those bracelets back. So that would be, at least 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 receipt books we would probably need two apiece for the pop-up, and then, well, 6. There's only 2. Actually, we only need 2 for the pop-up. So 8 receipt books, I think, at least. And then because it's around $5 charge, I'm not thinking we need anything but $5 bills for change. So I would think at least
Well,
to start,
5s and 10s, at least 5s and 10s.
well, yeah, 5 denominations.
Yeah,
Yes,
$5
you're
increments, yeah.
10s would be good. So I would think at least $50 per side.
I don't disagree with what you said. I think it's the right way to manage the process. It's just going to be a learning curve for a lot of folks because we've never done that before. And that's going to be really hard, especially in a pop-up environment where people, because we're going to do a drive-through. So
Right.
we're going to be driving around us and we're trying to get all that organized. So Courtney
Correct.
said she's going to schedule another meeting with the 3 of us. I think we need to really sit down and figure out the logistics of that and how we're going to do it so we can make sure we come up with a process.
Yeah, and it would be great if we could have, yeah, I think maybe even a real person-to-person meeting might be good. So as not to waste everybody else's time. Yes, you're right. But I think that we need to keep a much better accounting of those bracelets and that money this year. I think that because we really have no way to report from prior times, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, that scares the crud out of me.
Well, you might want to drink heavily because it gets scary. But my only concern is, I'm thinking about maybe the theater, for instance. It's mostly kids working the counter at the theater. Not to say kids can't do this, but we're giving them a receipt book that they have to fill out when they're used to doing a cash register, So we're going to have to really think through that to make sure we don't unnecessarily encumber people either.
Correct, but they would not be intermixing with their cash register anyway.
Well, true. I'm just talking about the
Better not
mechanics
be
of it.
anyway.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely.
And my thought is just the last 2 or 3 digits. So if you're selling 4 tickets, it's not that hard to write 369 370 371 372 and stick a $20 bill in it.
Yeah.
We'll have to, we definitely want to flesh this out.
We will talk about this.
Yes.
So that is, other than, everybody sending at least what they have spent so that I can keep some kind of an idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Courtney said you let me know how much those were going to cost, the purchase. Oh, I know what the other thing was I wanted to say. You were saying that they were not going to arrive until the 10th, correct, Mundo?
Yes.
So I would not be available to hand those out because I will be working on Friday. So
that's fine.
I don't know if you've already discussed that in my absence as to who might be able to do that deal. So that might be another thing we need to talk about when we meet.
Yes. Yeah. We'll definitely make sure that we find some people to help get those wristbands, even if we put the onus on the actual businesses and the locations to come and get their packages from City Hall.
Okay.
I will try to and ready to go before I go on vacation.
Okay.
But Sean has also been briefed about everything so that way he can backfill as needed.
All right. That's about all I have.
Okay, well then I will get with, I'll email you and Shannon so that way we can have a wristband meeting specifically to talk about the wristband process for this year. And I will email you tomorrow to schedule sometime next week.
Perfect.
Okay. And if y'all are around this weekend, I am too. So we might be able to just scoot that out quick since it's raining and no one's going to have any fun. So there you go.
Okay, so Ramona is not with us tonight, so we will skip the volunteers. However, I know that there's been people signing up and we have a meeting set for next week as well to kind of talk a little bit more in detail about how we're doing that. One thing I will ask of all of the commission members, I will send out the email with the schedule, and it would be nice if everyone could respond with what your t-shirt size is, because we will be ordering our volunteer t-shirts soon. And so make sure you do that. Otherwise you're not getting a t-shirt. Family activities.
Is that me?
Yes.
I think we're set with activities, and I missed your call the other day, so I just need to touch base with you to get hours of operation so that I can finalize staffing. And then I meet with Erin tomorrow to go over what supplies are on hand, and then I'll get with you on anything that's missing. That's
Okay.
kind of where I'm at.
Okay. Any questions or anything at this time besides the staffing schedule, or is everything going good?
I don't have questions until what I see from the meeting with Erin tomorrow, and then hours of operation. So that's really
Okay.
where I need to finalize things.
Great. And will you be available tomorrow if I give you a call then?
I will be.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was in a training for 3 days this week, so I was
Oh, no problem.
off grid. I apologize.
No problem. I'll connect with you sometime tomorrow so that we can get your questions answered.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. And publicity / social media, that is going well. Getting things out there. We have, I don't know if everyone's seen it, but we do have an Independence Days video that when we were working to brand all the different city events a few years ago before COVID, we had actually had a videographer film a lot of Independence Days, the parade, the events, the activities, the fireworks. And it's actually a really cool video, but we never released it because then COVID came. And that was when that year was the year that we were planning to release that. So we'll be releasing it this year and sharing that. It does have some snippets and scenes of the carnival, but I figured we can just, we'll be promoting that there isn't a carnival and that it's actually the inflatables park this year. And so hopefully there's no issues there, but that will be going up either tomorrow or Monday, and also with a link to the schedule. And June will be heavily, there will be a lot of heavy promotion in June. So any questions or concerns about social media or publicity?
Courtney, just one thing. Can somebody go on the city website and drill down to Independence Days and take the 2021 stuff off?
Yes, I will.
Thanks.
Do that.
I also was wondering, Courtney, and I don't know about if the advertising and whatnot has gone out yet, because you were just saying June would be heavily, but I know we were planning on promoting sales as of June 1st, which that is not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Ban. So nothing's gone out yet that's saying that.
We did have an IO ad in their Explore Polk County, so that is out, and it just says wristbands will be on sale on June 1st. But that's the only thing that we've put out that says that. So everything else will be saying the 10th from now on. And right now we're just playing it off that we forgot a 0. So, is our marketing cover up. So it's so the 10th is when they'll be here, and the 11th is when we actually start doing the wristband sales. I know we've said a lot of things about wristbands, but just to confirm with everyone, there's the 6, possibly 7 locations with the firehouse if they jump on it, that will be selling them consistently every day. And then Shannon has done a really great job of organizing a volunteer group that will be selling them on Saturdays in June, starting on the 11th. So it's 11th, 18th, and 25th or 26th. One of those days, I can't remember what that Saturday is, but where it's going to be a drive-through style where people can go into the parking lot at Grocery Outlet to pick up their wristbands and cash exchange. I just know there's a few people that came in late, and I want to make sure everyone knew that is going to be coming up. Again, there will be a lot of promotion about that before that actually starts to happen, so that way people know. And then we'll also have signage out there at Grocery Outlet / dollar store, so that way that people see it when they're driving by as well. So I'm sorry, Dollar Tree.
Small question.
Yeah.
During their pop-up wristband sales, I haven't heard anything on duckies. So we sell some ducks at the pop-up wristband sales.
Yes. So that is the goal. If I actually just messaged Shannon about that like 10 minutes before this meeting started, but yes, if Shannon's able to fill, there's one more volunteer spot that's not filled yet for the wristbands. there's 2 people required for each of the shifts, and it's 2 shifts each of the day. Leanne?
Actually, I had written down, I emailed you back, Shannon, on that. I had written down in my book that I was working the 2 o'clock one on both the 11th and the 18th. So that vacant place, as far as I knew, was.
Yeah, well, and I wasn't sure, Leanne, so I wanted to check with you before I
Yeah,
finalize that. Okay, good.
yeah.
So you got
I couldn't do the 25th, but I could the 11th and the 18th. So
perfect. Thank you. Then we're good to go, Courtney.
Great. So because we have all the wristband selling spots filled, I will be doing the rubber duckies those days and selling those as well. All right.
We'll need to get together on those. Just maybe mark it down
Yes.
because they're not sequential per se anymore. They used to be at one point in time, but numbers have disappeared over the years.
Okay. We'll connect about that process.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Other events, I don't usually. Karen gives us the Rotary update, and she is on vacation, so I don't have an update about the parade, but I sure am getting a lot of calls and emails about people who want to enter. So I'm sure Jim is flooded with emails, which is great. It means it's going to be a nice, well-attended parade. And then the mini marathon, I've also reached out to Terry, and I haven't seen anything, but I did see the Monmouth ND Day schedule, and they had the fun run and the mini marathon on there. So I just copied their times, assuming that it's going to be the same. So, and they probably have already had contact with Terry. So if anyone sees Terry, let him know that I'm looking for him, and we need to connect to finalize that for our ND Days. Is there anything else we want to chat out? Would everyone like to meet in person for our 2 June meetings, or does Zoom work better?
I could go either way.
Same here.
Courtney, what are the dates?
yeah, what are the dates?
The 2 June meeting dates are hold, please. June 9th and June 23rd.
I'm good to, as far as I'm concerned, we can meet in person for those.
Hazelnut, could you please give me just a second? Give me-
And I'm fine either way.
Okay. I think for these last 2, I would push to doing in person, just to make sure that we get all the details buttoned up. I know with the links, and sometimes with it being virtual, it's hard to find, and sometimes people don't get them, so they forget. But sometimes when it's in person, it's a little bit more, it's harder to forget when you know you have to be somewhere. So I'll let Karen know, so that way she can change that in the next invite. And I believe Karen will be at the next 2, so hopefully we'll all get our reminders, so that way we don't miss any. All right. Well, if no one has any other questions, Gerald, did you have any questions, or were you just kind of hanging out to see what was up? Is there anything that you wanted to add before we adjourn?
Just hanging out to see what was going on and what was covered. If you could do me a favor and send me the agendas for the next meetings, I'll do what I can to attend those, but I just kind of wanted to get a feel for what was going on and the coordination.
Okay. Yep, no problem. All right, everyone, then you all have a good night and a good